back door. Not always associated with the up and up. Kind of like Conor MacGregor coming in the back door in Roth-house. We're calling this movie Roth-house. It can be a little rough and tumble to get into, especially if you've been bounced out of making a contribution to a Roth because you make too much money. Yes, the land of the free and home of capitalism, and you're too good at it. So Uncle says you can't have a part of the Roth movie. Well, let's find out how to get past the bouncer and get some money into a Roth. You can't get past Dalton, the IRS, if you're married with modified adjusted gross income over $240,000. Single elimination starts the phase out at $146,000, and you're shut out at $161,000. There is a back door where Dalton nor any of his apprentice bouncers are stationed. It's not an official thing, but the IRS isn't really looking to square up and fight you about it. It's a two-stepper, a non-deductible contribution to a traditional IRA, followed by a conversion to a Roth IRA. The income limit to qualify for a Roth conversion was eliminated in 2010. So anybody can convert to a Roth, any amount, anytime, anywhere. But the question arises, is it even worth trying to get in when we're talking a relatively small sum of $7,000 in 2024, or $8,000 with the over 50 catch-up? Double that though with a spouse, and we're not talking bar snacks anymore. I'll show you just ahead how much that can turn into. If a band you wanted to hear was playing inside the Roth-house behind the wire cage and you couldn't get in the main door, would you just give up and go to Applebee's? No way. You take a few extra steps, go around the side, and in the back door. Now you've got your bucket of limed up Coronas and you're ready to rock. And a couple of extra steps to get into a Roth IRA aren't going to stop you if that was your mission to begin with. So yes, it's worth it if you were going there anyway. All right, let's look at the numbers. If you contribute $7,000 a year for the next 20 years, earning 8%, you'd have $320,000 or so. Do that over 30 years, and you're flirting with $800,000. Your spouse does the same for 20 years? How's $640,000 sound to you? Or would $1.5 million sound better if your spouse plays along? How about that in a tax-free bucket? And that's not even considering the allowable contribution amount will likely increase over the years. Sure, you're not going to get a straight 8% every year. Some years it'll be more, some years less. It's just an example. Let's say you're 50-ish. You've still got 20 years or more of productive work if you want them. Are you just going to stop at 70 because our culture says, hey, it's time? I say you might have 10 or more years left after 70 if you want them. So a 30-year time frame is not necessarily unrealistic just because you might run with the 50-plus crowd. Here's how you get past Dalton and the boys. Open a traditional IRA. Easy to do online at places like Vanguard, Fidelity, T. Rowe Price, and the like. If you're working with someone, have them do it for you. If you already have an IRA, things can get a little trickier when it comes time to convert, but we'll address that in a moment. Next step, make your non-deductible traditional IRA contribution. Designate it as a non-deductible contribution on IRS Form 8606 when you file your taxes. Because of the extra reporting when you're doing the conversion, be sure to tell your tax preparer what you're doing. If you don't have a Roth IRA already, it's time to set one up. Same as before, online or with your advisor. Then it's time to make the conversion. You're converting money in the traditional IRA into the post-tax Roth IRA. You're not the one actually doing it. You can either request it online or call your IRA provider. This could turn into a taxable event in certain circumstances. If some time has gone by before you request the conversion, there may be some growth on the non-deductible contribution. Since you've never paid tax on that, it becomes taxable when you convert it to the Roth. And remember, I mentioned something about already having a traditional IRA. Well, the IRS looks at all your traditional IRAs, including SEP and simple IRAs, as just one big old keg of IRA. You can't just tap that keg and pour only a non-deductible mug to convert to the Roth. To the IRS, you're tapping both deductible and non-deductible amounts. It's called the pro rata rule. Whatever amount you're converting to the Roth gets taxed proportionate to the percentage of never been taxed money and already been taxed money in your IRA. Here's an example. You already have $93,000 in your IRA. Now you make a $7,000 non-deductible contribution with the intention of converting $7,000 to the Roth. Of your now $100,000 IRA, 93% has never been taxed. So 93% of the amount you convert is subject to tax. In this example, that would be $6,510. Remember, no other IRAs, the pro rata rule is not an issue. Other IRAs, issue. There are some techniques for getting money out of IRAs so it's not an issue, such as rolling the IRA to a 401k plan if you have one. We'll address those details in another episode. These are the general concepts of a backdoor Roth. It's not the definitive treatise on backdoor Roths. It's seemingly simple, but the burden of reporting your maneuvers trips up a lot of folks. You're probably capable of doing it, but it never hurts to call for backup. By the way, who's your favorite Dalton? Patrick Swayze from the 1989 Roth-house or Jake Gyllenhaal from the 2024 remake? Let me know below. In the meantime, keep your head on a swivel. Stay situationally aware, financially and on the street. And we'll see you in the next episode.